the gameplay files, where today we're going to be crossing the water of the 16-bit era of video games with Marko's Magic Football for the Sega Mega Drive. During the 16-bit era, I think it's fair to say that side-scrolling platformers dominated the market. If you're a developer looking to design a platformer, you'd need to make the game unique and stand out in its own way to stand any kind of a chance against the competition. The question is does Marko's Magic Football accomplish these goals? Well, let's pop the cart in and find out. Marko's Magic Football is a side-scrolling platformer released for the Sega Mega Drive back in 1993. It follows the story of Marko, a young boy from the town of North Sterlington who lost his football and stumbles across a henchman of Colonel Brown, the evil owner of the North Sterlington toy factory, pouring a sludge-like substance into the sewers. The substance had the ability to turn all life forms into sludge monsters, and as luck would have it, Marko's football just happened to come in contact with the sludge, which transformed it into a super football. With his new football, Marko decided to put a stop to Colonel Brown's evil plans. Now, is it me, or does Colonel Brown was going down sounds like some sort of shit euphemism? Let's shake things up a bit and start off with the graphics. The game looks great and has a very animated type of look throughout the entirety of the game. The detail in the levels is great. There is not a thing out of place. The shading and lighting is perfect with detail on almost every object and enemy you encounter. There is also a lot of nice parallax scrolling in the majority of the levels. The animation to the game is superb. You can see that there has been a lot of effort put in with the attention to detail, from the way Marko's hair moves, even to when his shirt flaps in the wind when falling. You can tell there are a lot of frames in use by how smooth certain animations such as Marko running are handled. Hats off to the designers, because this really is a great looking game. As with all games, the pretty graphics will all mean jack if the gameplay is not there to balance it out. Thankfully, this game plays beautifully. The buttons have been mapped perfectly to the Mega Drive pad, with A being run, B being jump, and C is your attack. Marko can attack in a couple of ways. You can kick the football at your enemies to defeat them. Be aware that some enemies take more than one hit to kill. Taking a run up also allows you to kick your ball higher and further for slightly more harder to reach enemies, such as the riflemen that are camped behind the garden fence. The ball can also be used as an aid to access hard to reach areas by jumping on it. The more you bounce on the ball, the higher you reach. Throughout the game you will encounter many different types of friends and foes, from seagulls, sludge monsters, mice, snakes and workers with flamethrowers, just to name a few. There is even this one guy that just eats your football. I mean, what the hell? Why would anyone do that? What a killjoy. Some of the enemies are more difficult to kill than others, but as is with most games from this era, once you work out their attack pattern, then killing them does not become a major problem. To help you along the way, there are checkpoints dotted around the levels in the shape of a female photographer that takes your picture. There are also power-ups too. The power-ups are scattered around the levels, which are in the shape of a pair of shoes. Pressing down on them picks up or enables the power-up and can range from temporary invincibility, a super exploding football that will destroy all enemies on the screen at once, and picks up any collectibles such as stars and cans. Some levels require you to complete objectives in order to progress to the next level, such as destroying all sludge cans. Hidden around the games are little surprises such as UFOs that have crashed on top of a telephone pole, giant hamburgers and... wait, is that Captain Kirk from Star Trek? It even has the correct communicator sound. That definitely deserves 2 thumbs up right there. Bravo Domark, bravo. The game provides somewhat of an even challenge up until the forest levels. This is where it becomes frustrating. The snakes will be your downfall. You cannot see them as they are off screen, and they fire deadly accurate projectiles that are near unavoidable. You can't even try to jump past them, as doing so sends you into a trap where you take yet another hit. The developers clearly anticipated that the player would wind up doing this and was prepared to add the extra frustration. I attempted this level many times but could not legitimately complete it. I turned to using passwords just so I can progress further to capture as much original footage as possible. It's at this point that you realise that some of the later levels after the forest are slightly easier. Unfortunately, I was unable to complete the game when recording this footage, but with that being said, it was not enough to completely throw me off, and without a doubt this is a game I would like to attempt again in the not so distant future. The music fits the direction of the game perfectly, with it sounding like your traditional 90s kids cartoon. Each level has its own enjoyable theme that suits the level perfectly. It's very easy on the ears and is nice to listen to when you're navigating your way to the end of each stage. One of my favourite stage themes is the Circus. It's a very traditional melody that you would come to expect from a game like this. The sound effects fit the game nicely too. From springs to boings to bonks, grunts and explosions, it rounds off a very well constructed soundtrack to a beautifully crafted game. I think it's obvious to say that I really enjoyed playing Marko's Magic Football. I would absolutely consider it a hidden gem in the Mega Drive library, which I feel has been ignored by gamers. It really is a game I greatly encourage you to play. The game has an almost perfectly balanced difficulty curve, gorgeous graphics and superb music and sound effects to match. It really is a must-have for retro gamers. That's not to say the game doesn't have its flaws, but they are so few and far between that you would be forgiven to simply ignore them. You can pick up a copy for about £5 on eBay with box and instructions. If you see it, then rip the arm off the seller, because at this price it is an absolute steal.
Marko's Magic Football really shouldn't be overlooked. It's an addictive yet challenging game, and it won't be long before I'm back trying to complete it. Have you played Marko's Magic Football? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and whilst you're at it, why not recommend a game for me to review? And don't forget, like the video, subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook, and I'll see you soon for the next review.